down. Is this a woohoo moment, or is this actually an we're careening to our deaths moment? That's what I'm trying to work out.
The only two flavors of KT, woohoo or
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think a lot of people are probably on the R side of things at this point in time, as T1 looking poised to deliver them their first loss here in Road to MSI.
On one end, you have CLG fans who are saying things like, I never doubted them. And then there's KT fans who, a lot of them are going, I never trusted them.
Yes.
And
we need more to say we never trusted them. And honestly, my hope has gone. I think that this is almost 100% over.
I know you believe in...
I'm being actually honest. I'm being actually honest here. I just don't... It doesn't look like KT have the answers at this point. The Jace going to be taken away. The Poppy as well going to be removed. I wrote Poppy down. I think the Poppy is another big game changer they could pick up.
And
as
we are...
Yone and Vi, two obligatory bans.
We're getting towards kind of the next tier of top laners. So many are already taken out.
Yeah.
Jace now banned as well. Like we're going towards things like Mbessa, like Cassante, like Jax. Although after yesterday's Jax Keen performance on the Cassante, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Cassante looking like a power pick.
We can value that again. What is the blind pick going to be here, though? What is the B1 for KT? How are they going to get value out of this? Because I'm looking and thinking, as far as like really high prio picks go, I feel like we've gone through most of it. Maybe towards the 80 carry pool, we're getting slowly towards a situation where a lot of those are really thinned out. Nidalee would have been a good one as well, actually, especially because it's a flex.
Yep. See what this first pick is going to be. Could give us an idea of what this draft is going to look like. Camera guy feeling like BDD might be looking for it, but we can see he's looking a bit quizzical right now.
I think they're going to go for like a BDD counter pick. This deep in. Unless you want to go for a really safe mid laner they can blind, like things like the Orianna come to mind, where there's not really too much risk, but they are blinding Comfort for Perfect. And I think in situations like this, if he ends up getting stumped, we're like, why didn't you counter pick? But if you waste a counter pick and it doesn't do anything, that's also not good. We'll see. Doran has been by far the better player today.
It has just been Doran's day.
Yep.
He has had a phenomenal performance.
It is reigning LCK champion Doran. Let's not, like, it's easy to forget.
Okay. Twisted Fate going to get locked in just like that. That would be a blind pick for Faker. Back in time, of course, Faker has, I mean, he's played through every TF meta that we've had. TF has been always on the fringe, at least, if not in permaban status throughout the time that we've had League of Legends. As the Trundle gets up.
TF and Trundle coming through here, so taking away that pick from Cuz as well. Maybe it's a Cuz AP champion. Maybe that's what we're looking towards here.
Oh, unless it's the Pantheon.
Pantheon, I don't like Pantheon into Trundle or into TF, really.
I wouldn't mind like something like a Lilia.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, particularly I've already have an 80 top laner. This is a tier pick, but I don't think it's something you're super excited about. Picking an 80 champion into Trundle just always feels so bad, particularly one without a dash.
Aurora.
That's
a choice.
Slowly a little bit more convinced with Aurora. I feel like we've seen a couple of decent performances, but I feel like ever they kind of, did the classic mini rework into she's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay, but it just doesn't really get us going as...
God. This would mean that KT just cannot play for side lane at all. We've seen, like, this is the Dom 1 special. Doran
has earned your fate, right? Or your fate, rather. Like, I say go with it. Pick the Camille. As you're saying, the 1-3-1 was also the game that looked the most one-sided. Yep. Was a game with a draft exactly like this. And for T1, I think they're looking really good going into this fourth and possibly final game. Because Doran, really, his biggest enemy today have been Krugs. As I'm sure we'll keep making that joke forever, because it's just, it's so Doran. And internationally, there's very different conversation we have, but domestically, there's a reason why this guy has been praised by his teams, why this guy has been praised, and why he's been so consistently winning LCK titles, dying to Krugs, and then carrying games. That's just the Doran way.
Certainly is. Nautilus and Misfortune going to be taken away here as Rel left up. I wouldn't mind if KT just took away Caitlyn and Jinx, really try and hammer into Gumiyushi's champion pool. There might be somewhere that they can attack. They've already taken 3 champions off the board.
I don't mind the Jinx ban. Like, Ashe is still open as well. Because we got Ashe, we got Jinx, we got Zeri. I think Ashe is better because if they go Jinx, you go Zeri. Your laning phase is rough, but if you ever
add
find
another global.
Yeah, if you ever... Ooh, okay.
There is the Rel.
Yeah, they're looking for... So now it's hard because they can either go R5 Jinx, right, to outrange, or they go like R5 Draven. That's an option, right? It's one of Guma's comp for champions. As when you look at Draven comps, the amount of single target lockdown and damage that's there,
they're going to play Zeri
disgusting.
Lulu, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know what else you're going to look toward. That makes sense, but I don't like playing Xayah into TF. I feel like it's so easy to force an ultimate with a gold card.
Like rapid fire cannon comes in and then you cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Xayah Braum.
Braum is good. Braum is good, but Braum into Rel it's fine. It just doesn't really inspire confidence. I do.
Okay, that's a Ziggs. So
nameplates off. Love this. Incredible pick.
Yeah.
Nameplates on. I'm not convinced. But I thought that about...
Twisted Fate looked absolutely fantastic. BDD's got a few extra games on it over his career. Let's dive into it. Dive into game number 4. Match point, T1. I just heard a flash. So there it is.
Yeah.
Bit of a dab there as well.
That's nice. Good level 1. There you go. That's what we wanted to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't see it.
Well, we know it happened.
Yeah. Did we?
We wanted to see it in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah, but also like the whole like if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, we heard the sound, so I guess yes.
Yes, it does.
And there it is. Just a flash over the wall. That's a fat flash.
Not everything is tied to our perception, you know?
Yeah, I've mentioned this to you before, but object permanence is a difficulty for me.
You have mentioned that, yes.
Yeah, it's something I've struggled with throughout my life. But I think, I don't know. I'll work on it, do my best. As BDD into Faker here, the Aurora versus the Twisted Fate. Do you have any information about this particular matchup? I could imagine that BDD is probably going to be kind of okay with it in the early stages of the game, but it's about side lanes here for the TF.
Yeah, well, one of the things that you always think about when it comes to TF and stealth champions, right, is how much value does he get? I think in the case of Aurora, it doesn't really matter. Like with an Akali, I think so much of her kit is tied to being in Shroud. With Aurora, it's just a small dash.
Yep.
So not quite the same impact. Particularly with Electrocute, though, I think BDD should have a wonderful timer in this lane. Because if Faker is in position to throw a card, BDD gets to out-trade, right? Like these short, bursty combos is kind of Aurora's bread and butter. So I do think Faker should struggle. I don't think he should ever be at threat to die, particularly with Unsealed Spellbook. And it also means that there are really good gank opportunities. Ready for either jungler, but...
Oh, that was a satchel that Gumiushi just threw down for damage, and that is always a worry. Blade Caller comes through. I have to call back all of my Ziggs knowledge from Orcs. I can hear Orcs, actually, from the back room, talking about how this Ziggs is being played. I believe they have a spectator client, so I guarantee that he is watching only the Ziggs lane. So expect him to not know anything in the post-match about what happened elsewhere on the map.
And we don't need him to do that. We got Wadid for that.
That's true. He can take care of the rest of the map, yeah. Although, wait, Wadid is a support player, so they are just going to both be looking at the bottom lane only. So we have to take care of it.
They're consummate professionals. They wouldn't do that. We get never distracted here at the LCK.
Yeah, they're professional bottom lane people. Okay.
Well, yeah, but they also watch other lanes.
I mean, I really like your optimism.
That is, yeah.
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 But you're wrong. Okay.
I am worried that even with my optimism, I'm not feeling too honest. Oh my god, we get the combo!
There we go! The hookshot comes on through and Perfect says, haha! I'm a champion that was released post-2024, baby.
Yeah, I'm sad we didn't mention it yet, Redder. So some of the cute interactions in this game, Cuz can instantly proc Peter's passive with his W if he has the 5 stacks, because you do the autos. Yep. So that's an instant one. And then we also have As mentioned, as we saw there, the fact that Owner can provide terrain for Doran to get an extension on the hookshot, which is cool.
It is very cool. Also, you already mentioned as well the stealth can be seen with the
yeah, that's another. That one I don't think will matter quite as much. There's also, obviously, when there's two semi-globals in the game, because Zigzult is also semi-global, but it requires a lot more setup. But TF versus Pantheon, whoever gets going early always ends up generally snowballing kind of from there. It's perfect, gets cancelled, but he has TP. Might have to use it though, whereas Doran just gets to walk back to lane.
Yeah, we do have Doctom moving up towards his top side, so he's not too worried about it.
Yeah, that right there, that's basically Doctom's whole game.
Yeah.
That is what he's going to be dealing with.
Playing dodgeball.
Yeah, but there's no payoff. Like, it's like dodgeball, but you don't get to throw. Like, only they do.
Well, there's BDD showing the value of the weirding, as Faker takes a bit of that combo, and that's only going to get worse as items start to come in here for BDD. Of course, getting your first like full component actually just feels really good for the Aurora in the laning phase, as his combos do just feel like they do a little more damage than they should, even now. As Faker not going to get hit by too much. And BDD doing okay. As Doran and Perfect continuing to fight here towards the bottom side. I do like that Perfect is still playing with some gusto. Has used the teleport to get back down towards that bottom side of the map, but hasn't died yet or anything like that. The gold is very, very even between these two teams. One thing that I was worried about was just the full KT mental collapse, and then it just wouldn't quite work. I do feel like T1, as far as the composition goes, this isn't the time where they're going to be dominating, and it's a finesse composition that they've put together as well.
Yeah, I don't want to make any grand statements about mental state until we see some of the fights and decision-making, as we do have the fake out here. They don't know.
Yep, they dive on top of Carrier here, who does just crash his way down.
So there, KT try to make use of the fact that there's no vision at all in the river, and they could, for all T1 knows, be taking the dragon. Not the case.
Yeah.
So we do have a possible angle. One thing that KT or BDD really needs to do, as he has been doing, is keep this TF locked in lane. As Faker obviously can join a lot earlier. There it is.
Yeah, there's the Destiny to come on through as Peter does flash for the stand beside me, but there's a Hextech ultimatum there from Doran. He wants to lock them all in place, and now Doctom is trying to get this damage down. Faker is very low as they do kill the Braum, but it's Doctom. Do the feathers work? The answer is no. It's a double kill for Doran, continuing his onslaught here of the road to MSI. And that is going to be another kill. Feats of strength in the blink of an eye here for T1.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I don't want to make any grand statements, but that did feel a little collapsy, Atlas, as now that's a 2-0 lead on Doran, and it's not even Perfect's fault.
Yeah, this time it was KT going for an opportunistic angle onto T1, because you can see some frustration here with that reaction in the player cam as well. Let's have a look at this fight one more time, KT fans. Maybe avert your eyes.
Peter goes in too early. But that is not the end of the world. I think they could have had an angle here if the responses were a little quicker, but they are a member down. Right? While all of this is happening, still a member down. And they're missing some crucial ult. BDD uses his ult basically only to get into position and then end up dying because it's already abandoned ship, so maybe we should have just let that go. And then that's an insult to injury. That is 4 flashes used. Drake lost.
Yeah.
And now the semi-global comp, off to a wonderful start.
This is the problem.
That's a kill on Ziggs. That's a kill on the biggest win condition, which I think is that Camille.
Yeah, this is the issue, right? T1's composition, there are like 1-3-1 comps snowball so extraordinarily well. As Gumayushi just ults the wave. That's going to get rid of that one, as once again, Carrier could be in a little bit of trouble, but I said that last time and he wasn't. So this red buff going to be the target here for KT. Going to look to see whether they can take this one down, but Carrier knows exactly what's going on. And he's going to walk towards that brush. Ona's going to move on over as Cuz secures it. And T1 not going to go too much further forward. Faker taking some damage. Gold card comes in. Wild card's not going to connect onto BDD.
And one of the things that we hadn't really time to discuss because last game was so high-paced is, a flank.
Hang on a second. Yeah, there is KT going for the engage. Gumayushi does just satchel his way out as the door is put up, and the llama just says, Good on you.
And while that is nice, getting 2 sums is valuable. It doesn't matter if the mid lane turret is getting pushed in. Faker was always going to be ahead because of the TF passive. That's just kind of how he works, even though he's behind in CS. But getting plates is a big deal.
There's no Mega Inferno Bomb, so there is at least that. They're not going to be able to use that to cheat tempo. As Peter will find Carrier moving towards these grubs.
Maybe
he stacks up the passive. Crashdown comes in. As if Doctor can get this kill, that'd be a big one. And there it is, the Blade Call to lock that one up. Good news here for KT, but I don't think it's nearly enough to leave them feeling comfortable, as at least they do get some grubs and deny them from T1.
It's a start.
Oh, cute little bouncing bomb, but that is going to be Cuz with the smite, able to lock that one up.
Yeah, Cuz just not risking it, just using the smite that he does available. Don't want to lose that to a bouncing bomb because getting free is actually a big deal. Denying them at T1, I think, is also nice. Faker might be looking for it onto Perfect here. This has been a successful strategy. No.
Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Nowhere the Perfect can go as the teleport does come in and Perfect looks for the ulti. Doran dashes away and now T1 realizing that they just have to get out of there as PDD goes into the winning. He finds the combo. Faker now in a bit of trouble and PDD on the board. Teleports would have liked to be a little bit faster as they do unlock. But that is still a big advantage going over to KT, and well played there from Perfect as well.
And in the depths of despair, PDD and Peter arrive. Not hitting the ultimate for Perfect there was rough, but ends up working out pretty decent anyway.
Yeah, kind of better almost, as it baited Doran into going the wrong direction. It's okay.
It's nice, but it's not enough. We need to see more from KT.
It's a 500 gold lead, not too much in it for now. But we're going to check it out one more time. As Perfect thought that it might have been his angle. As the Destiny comes in, the instant response is great. Shows that KT's communication is still working out well.
And good flash there from Perfect to ensure that Doran doesn't actually get the setup. PDD has the burst damage available. And Peter's TP doesn't really matter, right? Because it's spellbook, so he doesn't really care about throwing it away. I think it was mostly just looking to ensure that they got out.
It's a moral support teleport. You need a moral support teleport every now and again.
And that
in
is
fact,
his role.
KT, I think, needs it a lot.
Yeah, and let's be real. I don't think there's any League of Legends player in the world that can honestly say if Peter suddenly appeared in your lane, you wouldn't be feeling better about the state of your game.
100%. I think even if you were the enemy team half the time, you're just psyched to have him around. He's just good vibes. As okay, Gumiushi down here towards the bottom side, wants to be satcheling these turrets as much as possible. I went to the School of Orcs to learn that. That is a judgment for the Ziggs play, how many of these turrets he can take down. So far, none of them have gone, but it is still very early on. And the Ambessa able to at least get some control of this wave to get some power there. So we do have Luden's done here for BDD. That is going to be good. Trophy, one of the trophies that Owner has picked up over his career is going to be used here on this top side. KT going to overload, and that's already happened. Exactly right. Featherstorm goes down. The answer is there as Doran flashes away. The ulti from Peter is so good though as Doctor flashes out, and Doran is going to be taken down. Public execution does nothing though, so that should be the end of this fight unless Perfect has found the angle, and Faker elects to gold card the Braum.
They needed that ult to hit. They needed another kill because while this is happening, Guma is just going to probably get this turret. This is Ziggs again. And you're not winning that race.
Yeah, that race ain't going to happen.
They do have 4 people. Maybe
plates are still up.
Plates are still up for... No, I think they
just need to get it into satchel range.
Yeah, but no. There's too many people. Reinforcements right there. There's the TP coming in, but they will get the turret.
Yeah, turret going to go down, so that's going to go over to KT. Is now Doran going to look to try for it once again. The carrier goes down first. It is a kill onto the Trundle at the same time as BDD wants to single out Doran. BDD still at full health, does so much damage as carrier going forward. He has nothing that he can do about this. And KT, they launch themselves into a gold advantage.
And Perfect, his ults might not be hitting, but his team fights sure are.
Damn. Okay.
That's the mental of KT, not quite broken just yet.
Perhaps not. Well,
this might do it.
Maybe curses are real, Chronicler. Maybe it's time to start admitting things that are correct. Is now Perfect in a little bit of trouble. The crashdown coming on through there. As Perfect is just going to head towards the death chamber.
Can he heal? Peter's almost there. Not quite in time.
Yeah, Cuz going to turn up, stand beside Braum, and they just watch their Ambessa fall.
That's ult invested as well. Getting a counter pick would have been big because now the setup for Drake, T1 have tempo there. And it is big. It keeps KT in the game. The perfect then getting picked up immediately afterwards is definitely costly. There's still a lot of good dragons. Really, only Ocean, I think you're not super excited. But Ocean into Ziggs?
Yeah, kind of feels all right.
Not too bad.
Nullify some of that poke damage. It's okay. Skirmishes going to be able to very comfortably take care of this mid wave. That's kind of his job in this 1-3-1 composition. We don't see very much 1-3-1 these days.
Well, that's a Satcher used.
This is the quintessential 1-3-1 comp. In fact, every champion is kind of perfect in that particular role. Like Camille and TF, this is something that Nuggery and Showmaker really found a lot of success on.
It's disgusting, and as you're saying, you know, Ziggs, it's AP Jin.
Yep.
It's just kind of how it works. Get Prio, and the best engage that KT have is perfect. Oh, I guess Cuss can go in, but it does get focused on
a BDD flank
soon. Yeah, but that's not really engage, right?
No. Engage Braum, 100%. That's what we're looking for here. Let's see what Peter can get done. He's going to need to do something. He puts down the door, but he's just thrown back into the team. He's burning as Doran looking for that flank angle, and it looks like KT. Straight. Yeah, they're just going to give this one up.
Maybe Cuss tries to steal.
Yeah, he just throws a spear in. That's going to help.
Another. Oh, Atlas.
Yeah, another Cloud Soul. We'd like to see that. As T1 are actually the team that get the most Cloud Souls out of any other team. I don't know whether that stat is true, but it's a feel stat that I think is true. They do deliver when
Atlas,
it comes to Cloud Souls.
You cannot in the same broadcast dunk on stats and then come out with the feeling stat.
Oh, I absolutely can.
Well, you can, but you shouldn't.
Oh, yes, I should. The red side thing is really silly, okay?
Starting to feel like you evaluate every stat depending on how you feel about it, Atlas.
Yeah, I do. And as long as I'm consistent, it's fine.
They're the objective first. This might be tough for T1. As the disengage of KT is really good.
It is. The Ambessa looking for a bit of an angle here as well as Carrier taking a fair bit of damage from BDD.
Perfect.
Yeah, the pullback is working. Perfect has a really good angle as Skirmishes has to flash immediately. And down goes the Trundle with no answer. He was looking to try and go for a sneaky little smite. But it does not work as Doran in this side lane. If he can actually get to this inner turret and really challenge, that could be a big deal. But the Rift Herald comes down.
I do think that, so I was gonna give Perfect a little bit of a hard time, but I think he got flash from Guma. I wasn't quite sure where the perfect execution went.
No, he got flash out of Guma, and I don't even know whether he pressed the button. I didn't see him press the button.
No, it was kind of
hidden. That's another charge.
Oh, the crowd goes wild. And Atlas, I need a 5th game. I'm going to be very, like...
Well...
Not only, as I know we like to joke, you know, my prediction, it's whatever, but for the max amount of game, because we know Hanwha's going to go to game 5 tomorrow. That's just what they love to do.
Yeah, and if we can get maximum 5 gamers, we spoke about this earlier on, but...
Maximum time in Busan.
Yeah, that's what we need. That is absolutely what we need.
Sorry, T1, I love your draft.
Well, that's a ghost moving forward here from Faker. He finds the gold card, and they press a lot of buttons. Mega Inferno Bomb goes down, but Peter's here to the rescue. They get the flash out of BDD. Peter still moving forward as Doran takes a lot of damage from the turret. The rest of T1 still standing alongside, and it's not going to be anyone in too much trouble, but thwarted is the engage attempt.
Battle Braum!
Yeah!
He's there! He's going in! He's doing stuff!
He is truly the KT shield, is he not? That is Peter in a nutshell. Holding up the door to allow them all to stand behind him. All right, Doctor. Okay, as soon as I saw, yeah, you know, that was a jump scare.
That's the red herring in a horror movie, and then like, now the actual scary thing will happen. You know?
I mean, I'm personally proud of Dr. for not flashing. I would have just flashed out of fear.
Well, this one hits.
Yeah, this one's a dangerous one. It's okay, Faker looking for that gold card. He might be able to find it, but it's not going to save his life. It's because he even wants to get the kill, but Perfect's going to take that one away. And 2, 1 and 3 here for the Ambessa is a big deal. Doran is still strong, but he's actually looking to prove that as Hextech Ultimatum goes down once again. He gets a big old magic shield, but oh my god, BDD making the sickest outplay. Doran is going to survive, but so is BDD.
Guma. 1 second.
Yep, the Mega Inferno Bomb. Where is it going to land? And it doesn't kill BDD. Oh my god! Almost! That was almost the kill with the Comet.
Without that look, he dies!
Home.
That's Spider-Man right there!
Thank you very much, Peter, who is now moving back towards POM status in the series. That does involve KT winning twice.
Atlas, KT are up 2k gold.
Oh, don't say things like that. That's silly. That's going to make Law get into your DMs. And she'll be really mad.
I don't know what is maximum heartbreak. Is it still winning here and then losing game 5, or looking good here and still losing this game? I don't know.
I mean, both. They all make you feel bad. It's all about which one's faster.
This play is insane. So obviously delays the ultimate by a good amount, so he gets close to the turret, then gets the redirect twice.
As the Hextech ultimatum wears off as well.
Perfect timing. And then, watch this. I want to see his response.
Yeah, as he sees that, he's like, he knows. Yeah, I agree. And so I think he was actually able to get out of the way of just the Comet, which kept him alive, but still having the Locket there was very, very cute. As I don't know whether it actually did anything.
No, he would have died. Like with all his health for it? Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt about that.
God, that's crazy. As, all right, oh God, okay, Gumayusi's in so much trouble as the feathers go on through. Still, Dogdom not going to overcommit to that or anything.
I guess in the game of Dodgeball Dogdom is playing, he does get to throw the ball. My bad. I'm sorry, Dogdom.
He has a lot of very, I guess, sharp balls as well that he seems to be throwing around.
KT getting a Drake here is a big deal. One of the issues that we do see with this T1 comp is that if they don't succeed in finding and picking off a single target, I do think the comp struggles. Obviously, they're going to start Otacon, so everyone else should have been, because has ult as well. So I don't know if there's an option here, but in the rotations, you need to be careful, because if you over-rotate or someone goes by themselves with just an ult, like Faker can come in, Doran can hook shot in from 3 screens away.
Oh dear.
Carrier, is this another bait?
Let's just see as he flashes out of the way. Gumayusi now going to get ulted here by BDD, and that is so much damage. There it is, and Dogdom just throws out a Q and locks up the Ziggs in a turret, immediately taken in response.
Might be Otacon.
Oh, KT, they're finding some angles here in this game. The back was taken there by Doran as well. He does get to 2 items, but there are 2 items done for Perfect at the same time. A way better game for Perfect here in this game number 4 than we have seen prior.
Oh, do note, Perfect going for Edge of Night. Can actually get rid of the vision from the TF ult, if that so happens, but BDD. Finding Gumayusi here. Gumayusi, even with a defensive satchel, there's just too much damage being done, and then Dogdom just barely gets him with the feathers. Able to take down that Ziggs, but it doesn't lead to too much more. It just means the gold lead stays there. Yeah, for T1, and I do think the T1 composition, once you start falling behind, we all know playing a 1-for-1 comp is a nightmare. But this comp can team fight, and that is important to note. This isn't like they don't...
I mean, that's why this is the 1-3-1 comp, because it also does the other thing kind of okay.
Camille is truly... Oh, Doran? I guess he's fine. Yeah, so Camille's kind of a... Oh my god, Cuz.
Oh dear. Yeah, Cuz is in a lot of trouble. There's the Magnet Storm. The crash down there is fantastic. He's mitigated a fair bit, but there's a Mega Inferno Bomb. And that is actually... Oh, Faker in a bit of trouble as Dogdom. He's just taking every fight that's there for him.
That's... Okay, let's see. That is a lot of subs being used as Peter.
Peter? Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that's fine. He's problem.
Yeah.
Good pick for T1. Doesn't lead to an objective, at least for now.
Yeah.
Does get Cuz's flash, which I think for the backline of T1 they're going to be very happy about, so that they don't get targeted quite as easily. KT might try to turn because a lot of ults were used. There's no ults for T1. I actually love this from KT.
Yep, they're just going to start this one up. They don't have their jungler, but Grant Skyfall is going to be there, or Starfall as it is now.
It's just gone.
It is.
Wait, Guma doesn't even have ult. No, I think this is definitely gone, but can they get out? That's the question, Atlas.
Well, there's a teleport in here from Doran. Oh my god, he could... Oh! Okay, Doran. All right, buddy. That is called redemption. And yeah, the KT fans, understandably, hands over their mouths. There was no smite. There was no angle. And the Camille just comes in and says, I have got metal legs, and your Otacon will be mine. I don't know whether that's what he actually says, but he could have.
Oh my god, this man died to Krugs!
But he killed Otacon. And that was pretty cool.
Oh,
let's have a look at this one more time.
Doran. I want to see, does he, because he can, if he primes his Q on this, oh, that's so good. And that's why he has the, oh my. So, just perfect. TP's in, primes his Q so that he has the true damage, which is better than any smite as Koma's like,
yeah, Koma's
this
just like,
guy!
oh yeah, sure, buddy. Love that response out of the T1 coaching staff.
We'll see. I think Otacon, with how T1 plays a lot of the fights, that might actually be a big deal, right? They're going to always focus on one member, blow them up. And the damage from that Otacon might end up being a big difference maker. I think KT could have really used that help. And it's also the mental blow. Oh my god, Doran, what a player, man.
He is just the most Doran player that we've ever had in the LCK.
He stands alone.
Well, we're just going to focus on him going back for the moment. It is going to be 2 items done basically across the board for almost everyone, but there's 3 on Faker, who's 1.6k ahead, just doing that cheating thing that TF likes to do, where he makes money out of nothing. And it's working out very nicely. In fact, sitting on barrier exhaust right now. Must be really fun having the unsealed spellbook. As Peter, the door was in the wrong spot. But that's okay. Doran sneaking around, looking for a bit of an angle here. As Perfect did have his shield broken, his Edge of Night.
Yeah, kind of hard to collapse upon as Doran. So much safety does Camille have. You have the going completely untargetable with your ultimate. You have the hook shot to get over walls very easily. This is where I think KT should struggle.
Well, KT are looking to try and get in here and make something happen. Pillar goes down, the minefield's there. The control of space is actually huge.
I love this.
T1.
Yeah, just send it. Send it on Nash.
And it's only Soul Point that's available for T1 as well, so KT don't lose too much.
Faker doesn't have ult. Like, you do have to turn though, because you're not going to get this in time. But this is what KT wants, right? You want them to play into you, and oh my god, maybe they can actually just get it. Owner does a flash.
Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, that's a flash out from Peter, is okay. They look for the angle and they find it. PDD is down already. They're going to try and burn the Baron. Oh god, this is such a disaster, and it's Carrier with a smite from his unsealed spellbook to cut down KT where they stand, and not like this, KT. That was not how this series was supposed to end, but my god, is it on brand.
And it doesn't end with a bang, but with a whimper. Guma gets a big ult. Everyone's so low, and BDD just gets hunted to 0. And BDD, for all the credit that we give you, you have flash, you cannot get caught by Rel. Your damage is needed, ends up going down. And even if they get Nash, this play is a bust. We already know.
Yeah.
But because... Oh, god.
Yep.
야, 바로
Just find Aurora and kill her.
야, 2,500, 2,500. 하나, 둘, 셋, 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 셋. 야!
And they called it. Timed everything here as well.
You're missing fight! Why are you taking your hands off the keyboard?
Oh, because it was done. It was done.
That's it, Atlas. I don't see any way for KT to get back in this one. Yeah, the Otacon was one thing. That's salvageable, but this, that must be it.
What do you reckon, Chronicler? Is it mullet bet time?
I can't grow a mullet in time for MSI.
No, just maybe not for MSI. Maybe do it for like the LCK season coming up.
I really don't want to. You know what? For the KT fans, it's fine. I'm not moving back till the end of the year. I can have a mullet in the meantime.
Yeah, there you go.
Lock it in.
Even if your wife absolutely hates it, you're doing it for the memes. It's okay. T1.
Carry STP. Do note.
Yeah, and this is exactly what this composition is really good at, by the way. It is utilizing Baron to destroy everything. Doctom takes 50% of his health bar.
He really gets to play the game, by the way.
Not anymore. As the Blade Caller going to be used, KT realizing that defending this bottom inhibitor just not going to happen. As there's the engage from Doran. They lock him down as BDD this time not able to get out of the Hextech ultimatum, but Doran is still going to fall. Carrier goes in a little late this time. As maybe it's a mullet because the public execution goes in, but still, KT feeling that little bit too far behind.
The TP!
Still, it's going to be a 2-for-1. The flash out there is BDD finding the angle.
They can slow play this.
Yep, he's on a control ward, but still he's biding his time. He can get over that wall as now Faker with a gold card in hand, but he should be taken out. Still the stun going to come through.
Perfect!
So incredibly low. Oh, BDD flashes forward, but Faker goes golden in the nick of time. It's a missed timing for BDD, and the gold card is going to connect. No! There's the triple kill. And and we saw it. He was almost there as Doctom. Matters into his own hands, but he's still going to die. And it's a baseball bat of destiny here from Ona that locks down the ace, and the teleport comes in. T1. It is now a date with Humble Life Esports tomorrow night to see whether that ticket is for them to go to Canada
Peter's
for
almost,
MSI.
Peter's almost up.
All right, maybe I'm talking a little bit too soon. Still, that is 16 seconds on BDD. Yeah, T1 not going to be able to finish just yet. Gumyushi finishes a very cool hat. And even though the game isn't over just yet, feeling a bit backbreaking here for KT.
It's the pillar there onto BDD that cancels. BDD almost taken instantly out of the fight. And then it's the heroics from Perfect together with Doctom, right? Like Perfect goes in, they get the sums. Already a member up is KT, but BDD crucially, this goes on for so much longer because he needs to get on top of Faker. 3 levels down, by the way, which is kind of insane. But still was able to find him in a 1v1. But then, as Perfect is sustaining, Owner is low, Doctom is trying to make the play.
Oh, that
stopwatch was crazy. And then there, he just straight up mistimes it. And
that was a millisecond. There was nothing in that.
It was closed, and Doctom, even though he gets the kill, does end up going down. I think that's probably worth a good amount of gold. Guma has been fed well here in this game, but T1 still 8,500 gold lead here, Atlas. Soul point imminent, or soul imminent rather.
My goodness, Faker is so far ahead. It is absolutely insane. And I have to say, as far as the glow-ups are concerned, I feel like Faker's performance in comparison to what we saw over his last week in the LCK, it's just best of 5s. It's just these grand stages and Faker just comes alive. It doesn't matter what his form is.
No!
Doctom gonna get caught. The Featherstorm does get used, and in goes Perfect. He finds it, but still, Cuz is fighting Doran, and that is not one that he can win. He's down to the GA as Faker able to sit here and wait for the gold card. Finishes him off. Magnus Storm onto 3. Carrier, he just wants to finish KT, get his mind set on Humble Life, as KT will lose Perfect and lose their run. It was almost a miracle, and T1 says no. We're the ones that make those happen. You can wait for the next round of the